And the players here have played each other several times, like you pointed out. And those two players are going to be in the top right spawn location. We've got our blue Terran player playing for Neurasoft. It is going to be Krass. Opponent spawning across from him in the bottom left spawn location. Been in Premier a couple times already, wants to make his way back up there. He's going to be the Dignitas player playing as the red Protoss pieces. It is Bling.
So, obviously, this map is split down the middle. Diagonal symmetry. These two watchtowers going to be playing in. Pretty important to how the game flows. You can get a lot of vision from them nice and early on. Early scout coming down here from Kraus.
Nope.
Krass. No, 11-11.
Nope.
Rax.
It is going to be a proxy Rax. The question is 1 or 2. Is it going to be a proxy 2 Rax? Is it going to be proxy Rax Reaper? I would guess Reaper based on the location.
I want to say Rax.
Based on the fact that there's no second SCV coming out. Definitely a Reaper. We'll see a gas coming down any second. Proxy 1 Rax Reaper from Krass. An interesting way to open this.
Very much so. These two have played each other, though, an awful lot of times. Bling holding that record, though. In the 4 matches that they played against each other in a best-of series, it's been Bling 2-1, Bling 1-0, Bling 3-0, and then most recently, Krass 2-0. So, Krass obviously is the underdog coming in here with the record between them. However, anything can happen in WCS, as we've seen from early on today.
Yeah, we've seen 2 players advance who might not have been expected to. I'm not sure who would have been favored in the Slivko versus Dystar game. I think that was pretty evenly split. But Lilbao upsetting Tefel, definitely not what most people would have expected. And now, well, Krass is looking to get this series started off with a bang. Reaper is well underway. Cybercore coming on out. There's no Zealot being made by Bling or anything like that. He has just... no, that's not actually... I misread that. He's not scouting at all, so he doesn't know anything that's happening here. Zealot now on the way. Maybe canceled, though, if he doesn't really find out what is happening. What is this SCV going to do? Is he going to go for the engineering bay block? It looks like he may well do so. Actually, nope, not going to do so, and that means that the Zealot may well be canceled. Well, only 1 Reaper. Interesting. But the Zealot's canceled.
Oh no, this is going to be painful. There's no... Cybercore is done. Mothership Core is getting chrono boosted out, but at least 1 probe should die here.
We have a proxy factory coming down now in a completely different location. The Reaper is trying to do a little bit of damage there. Does get 1 kill. He's losing a lot of health, though. He's got to be a little bit careful. And now taking a look, did this probe spot the factory? Nope. Unbeknownst to Bling, proxy number 2 is well underway. And this is a really interesting play out of Krass. He's now going to be floating his factory back on home. He's got a second Rax already up at home with a reactor coming on down, so he can start producing some units as well. And I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen somebody go proxy Rax into a proxy factory at a completely different location. I don't think Bling is going to expect this.
This is going to be a very unusual build. Something that I haven't often seen done myself either.
There's the Widowmine.
Yeah, Widowmine coming down. It's going to be annoying. Widowmine's one-shot anything that comes out of a gateway. So, really annoying early on. For the moment, the probe just coming and taking a peek up here. Sees the command center coming down. And this could actually stop Bling from realizing that something untoward is occurring.
I'm interested to see what he's actually going to be doing with this Widowmine. It's not going to be a drop. He may just walk it into the natural mineral line, but it may not actually accomplish all too much with the Stalker and the Mothership Core out. If he does overcharge, he may well be able to kill it before it actually is burrowed. But the Reaper is distracting the Stalker at the moment, just sort of keeping it at that northwestern side of the base. And now here comes that Widowmine. What's he going to be doing with it? Is he just going to burrow it at the front? That looks kind of...
Oh, it's been seen.
Where's it going?
It's lost. He's going on an adventure.
Yeah, I guess. He's going to burrow that over there. There is a Stargate on the way here. Oracle is rallied into the base. He's not rallied over that Widowmine or anything. That would be incredibly unfortunate. He's relocating the factory. Still in a proxy location. This is so strange.
It's like musical chairs, but the Terran version.
Musical buildings.
Musical buildings. That'd be awesome. I wish we had like a soundboard where we could do music whenever it lifted and moved somewhere else.
So the Oracle is going to completely avoid this Widowmine. So no risk of that dying. That would have been incredibly unfortunate. 2 racks of production here for Krass. Looks like he's going to be starting +1 now as well. He's got triple marine production, stim on its way. He has seen the Stargate, so he should expect something, and that's why he has his marines right next to the mineral line here. So the Oracle shouldn't do all too much. We have gateways numbers 2 and 3 done and ready for Bling. Although he actually forgot his warp gate tech. That's actually a really big blunder.
Wow, okay, that is huge. That is really delayed now. Of course, Bling taking a little bit of damage there. 2 workers didn't manage to get sniped up there so far by Krass. So congratulations to him there. With so many Marines in the middle line, it's unlucky or very skillful to be able to kill anything off in that situation. Meanwhile, a Hellion has been produced. Not much else though.
Yeah, this is just really weird. He's getting another Hellion. He may go for a bit of a run by maybe. This Oracle just continuing to just be present and scare the SCVs a little bit, not really doing all too much, only with those 2 kills as you pointed out before. Krass is really far behind in economy. He's down 27 to 42 workers, even though Bling's Oracle didn't do any damage. Bling's had 2 bases for ages. We have a starport coming down now here for Krass, but this doesn't really have much. He's got a whole bunch of Marines, some Hellions, a mine in the middle of nowhere. Where did that mine go? He relocated to the watchtower by the looks of it.
Yeah, it's just sitting there. It's waiting patiently. And what I'm more curious to see is what these 2 Hellions do, because the factory is now moving back towards the main base.
Oracle popping on in towards the natural. There's no turret, but the Marines are there. Stim is done too. Krass stimming about half of those, and there's no medevacs out just yet, so that's permanent damage for now.
As things continue, this game still looking relatively stable. The Reaper going to go and take a quick little peek at the Oracle. The Oracle could actually kill it if it wanted to. Unfortunately missing that opportunity. May still get it just very low on health. Marines coming up to save their buddy though.
Big waste of energy. And actually, misclick. He clicks T to activate Envision, which is not going to help him at all. Nope. That's going to use up 50 energy for essentially nothing.
May go and see this Widow Mine. That'd be a bit of a hero.
Well, additional racks being added on here for Krass is going to go up to 3 now. And we have 3 more gateways coming on up for Bling, who's just finished his warp gate technology around the 10-minute mark.
Okay, and one thing we haven't touched on, Penguin, is this massive Phoenix that Bling is currently producing and hiding at the very edge of his base. So this is something that Krass has no idea about and could really catch him off guard.
6 are out at the moment by the looks of it. 2 more gateways coming down. Bling's going up to 8 gateways, Maddles. This could be a very strong 2-base play. Charge is about 2/3 of the way done. +1 armor about 3/4 done. And Bling is knocking down the rock, so it looks like he may well want to go for a 3rd base. But at the same time, 8 gateways, a pylon coming up on the other side of the map. So many Phoenixes out already.
Oh no, this medevac's about to have a really bad time.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Ouch.
Hi.
Hi, we're Phoenix. Nice to meet you.
Not totally loaded up, only a Widow Mine, so it's not going to lose like a full cargo of super expensive units. But 7 Phoenix are out on the map. Krass knows about this now, but he doesn't really have all that much time to react to this. And, I mean, there's not really all that much that Krass has that deals super well with Phoenix. He's got a bunch of Marines, but with 8 gateways of production, Bling is looking to come across the map and end this game swiftly.
We do have the 3rd command center already half done for Krass, so that's where quite a lot of his money has been spent in. He's got +1 infantry weapons down, +1 infantry armor still being researched. That's up against Bling, who does have +1 armor already complete. He's getting a 3rd though, so he's not all-inning or anything like that with this build. He's just looking to be very aggressive and take a lot of the map. Storm also coming down. May wait until Storm is completed before doing anything because he's already triggered such a reaction out of the blue Terran player with a double bunker being constructed at the natural base.
3rd CC finishing up for Krass here, so he's not in a terrible position, but like you said, bunkers are coming on up. 3 bunkers now, and that's a lot of bunkerage, and you know, that's 300 minerals that are not being used in things that are really going to be all too helpful right now. 3rd Nexus is nearing completion. It's about halfway done here for Bling, and now he's just continuing to be active with these Phoenix. He's sitting at a total of 8 by the looks of it. And, well, the bio is going to stim on up. The Oracle will die, but not before casting Revelation. So
oh no, Krass is out of position now. Bling's coming in from behind. Nice pickup by Krass there. Gets away, but
the Phoenix? The Phoenix are going to pick off the Metamax slowly but surely. It looks like none of them are really... Oh, one full one goes down. Gigantic loss for Krass. The bunkers are empty. He's pushing through at the charge lots here, and this is not going well at all for our Terran player.
Nice force field to block any of these Marines from coming down, which just means that the natural base getting ransacked. Bling retreating back with the majority of his forces, just leaving a couple of Zealots there saying, do you know what? I've done enough for the moment. A load of Phoenix still there. The Colossus going to be started as soon as Robotics Bay has completed. Storm nearly done too. This is Bling getting into late game. He's massively ahead in supply, and he's really diminished the medevac count already.
Very significant losses there on the medevac count. As you pointed out, only 3 up at the moment. Still 8 Phoenixes here. He wasn't all-inning, like you said. He's getting his +3. He's getting his Blink. His Robo Bay is also coming on up just now. Looking at the resources lost, it's 1,300 for Bling to the 3,300 of Krass. So Bling trading much more efficiently all game long. The Phoenix is trying to poke on in here and do a little bit more, but those Marines are going to be fine to ward those off. Third base coming on down now for Krass on, like, he's finally getting it on location here. Dropping the Mule Hammer. Only a couple of mules, though, not a huge amount of income there. Colossus being chronoed out, second Robo on the way, too. So he's going to be on to double Colossus production soon enough, and there's not really going to be a great answer to that, as the Phoenixes are going to be able to deal with the Vikings quite consistently, and Vikings, he can't really make them at the moment because he's still trying to reproduce the medevacs.
Any unit that pops out of these barracks while the Phoenix are out, instantly getting lifted. Those, ooh, the winner. Those medevacs could have got taken out there. They could have. Forward
Takes
very
a couple more extra shots on those, but Bling still hasn't lost any of these Phoenix. The 8 Phoenix are just continuing to be the heroes of the skies, taking a bit more damage on them from those Marines on the high ground, but not really anything too big of a deal. Krass, +2 armor is significantly far behind his +2 attack, but +2 attack's nearing completion, which means that his own upgrades are not looking terrible.
Nice little harassment, yeah.
Up here, though.
This is a good lift. Meanwhile, we do have some counter damage being done by Krass. He dropped a Widow Mine into the third base of Bling, but that only got 4 hits. A medevac goes down. Not really what you want. Another nice little hit coming down from that Widow Mine there. Now 6 kills. Way better than you'd ever hope to do, but an Observer comes over, allows it to get taken down. Blink, nearly done for Bling. Ghost Academy on its way out. And this Ghost Academy, has anything actually been seen by Krass so far? No, he hasn't seen any of the robotics facility tech. So he only knows that there could very well be High Templar.
The first of the Phoenixes finally goes down after they have picked off a total of 23 workers throughout the game. Bling, that is, not all of those from the Phoenix. He's continuing to camp the starport. This is going to allow him to pick off this medevac that's going to spawn on up. If he, yep, there you go. Medevac comes on out. Not really focusing on it too well. There we go. He is going to focus it down finally. So that medevac getting taken out for free. 4th Nexus on the way here for Bling. How many Colossi does he have now? 3 Colossi, 2 more in production. Thermal Lance almost done. There's no Vikings. There's really nothing to deal with the Colossi all too well. Another
Has there
Phoenix
been a
did go
single
down.
High Templar as of yet
Nope.
made? That's interesting because Bling went for Storm very early on and hasn't really used anything from that tech path. He did definitely
looks
finish
like he may just want to just get out as many Colossi as possible because his opponent doesn't really know about them. So what's he going to do about this army that's marching across the map? He's sitting on 33 Marines, 12 Marauders, and a Viking. He doesn't have the output, the damage output to deal with this. And now, here comes Bling, storming forward. Krass down, 40 supply. GG has called without the engagement going down, and Bling takes a convincing game number 1.
Spawning up in the top left-hand position of Heavy Rain, the blue Terran player, representing Neurosoft. It's Krass. And his opponent, to the bottom right, the red Protoss. From Team Dignitas, 1-0 up so far in this best of 5, on his way to Premier. It's Bling.
And I was saying to you during the break, Mattles, I didn't really understand what Krass wanted to accomplish with that build of his. He went for the Proxy Reaper, which is understandable. The Proxy Reaper did a little bit of damage. He got a couple of probe kills. But then he went for that Proxy Factory and went for the Widow Mine, which he then walked into the middle of nowhere, and it never did anything ever. So I guess that didn't really make all too much sense to me, and he just seemed very far behind from the beginning. His own CC came up very late. By the time he expanded to his natural, he had 27 workers to the 42 of Bling. So I expect that we'll see something a little more standard coming out of Krass this time around, because that just did not work.
Sometimes crazy builds like that work for you. They give you the win because your opponent just doesn't quite know what's occurring. That didn't occur for Krass, though. Krass just didn't seem to piece it together very well, in my opinion, and Bling was able to just play very standard and get the win. And that's great news for Bling. It's given him a lot of confidence moving into this second game, and he's now only got to get 2 more wins in this best of 5 to advance up into Premier. Bling would be, if I'm not mistaken, the first UK player in Premier ever.
He's already been in Premier, so...
Oh yeah, he has, of course, yeah.
Yeah, he has that experience, but he would be the only UK player in Premier, so I guess you're right on that end as well. But Bling played a very solid last game. I was very impressed with the way he played. I didn't expect him to play as well as he did, because he just didn't... I expected Krass to be able to win this, because as you said, the last time they matched up, Krass was able to take it pretty convincingly 2-0. And, well, Bling started out with a really, really good game there, so I'm expecting to see more of the same. This, however, is Krass's map pick, and I'll be interested to see what he has planned here. So far, it's very, very standard play out of him. He got a Marine out, not a Reaper with that gas, so he is going to be adding on the reactor now. And we could see him go for the double Reaper that Flash likes to do in TVP, or we could see him out on a factory.
Now, it's worth noting that while Krass did beat Bling 2-0 the last time that they met, Bling is currently in amazing form up against Terran, 80% win rate for the moment, so that's good news for Bling. Krass, on the other hand, only at 47% up against Protoss, so struggling a little bit. That's obviously something which is going to be playing on both of these people's minds, that, hang on, I'm sitting here, I'm confident moving into this, I've only lost 2 games up against Terran recently, 2 pro players, whereas Krass is sitting there and going, hang on, I've lost 10 games out of the 19 I've played. This isn't such great news for me.
Yeah, so, well, the confidence for both these players, it's going to be varying, I guess. As we said a bunch of times, we've been harping on this a little bit. Bling did lose the last series, but as you said, I mean, with that last game coming up very, very well for Bling and the previous record between them, he shouldn't be feeling all too bad. And now Krass did go for the double. Ooh, DTs.
I know I'm calling that early. It could still be Blink, but Blink is actually really good on this map because there's so much cliff area.
I think it could well be the 2-base Blink all-in, but 2 Reapers going to come out and scout that Twilight Council by the looks of it. This one, is he going to go all the way to the corner? The rally on him means he should see it. Yeah, he sees the Twilight Council coming on in, and this is going to be an interesting thing to see whether he does go for the DTs or for the Blink here. That second base was confirmed, right? The natural has been seen. Yes, the natural has been seen. Reaper walking on in there now. And Twilight Council's done. How is he going to choose to utilize it? This Reaper gets a probe kill there, which is pretty nice. 2 worker kills total. And it is going to be Blink coming out. Krass is going to have a little bit of trouble scouting that because the Cyber Core is making a nice little wall behind the mineral line here. And he should.
Oh, nice control by Bling there. Stops the Reaper getting up to the mineral line.
And he gets both of those stalkers. Both of the Reapers with his stalkers. And, well, Blink is coming out, but this map is a fantastic map for Blink, as you pointed out. The ledge here at the bottom of that base is so gigantic. This is where Blink could do 2 things. He can do 1 of 2 things here. Either he'll go up to 3 gates, which is what he's doing right now, continue to macro out, take a 3rd base, and try to fake out Krass into thinking that it's a Blink all-in. Or he'll just straight up go up to 5 gates, maybe 6 gates, all in off it, and just put all of his eggs in one basket. Thus far, only 2 more gates coming out. It looks like it is going to be an expansion play from Blink.
And that's going to be good because with a probe there, it already seems quite likely. But this is very similar to what Bling actually did in the first game. He took an early 3rd and it worked well for him. This one's even earlier than on the first map. Meanwhile, Krass adding in a 2nd tech lab, so he's going to be producing a good number of Marauders. And that's a good response to the Stalkers if it was a Blink all-in. But Blink's just sitting here. He's produced hardly anything. His work account looking solid. 41 to 32 SCVs for the moment. The only thing really Bling doesn't have going for him is any upgrades as of yet, whereas +1 infantry weapons has just kicked in, but as if reading my mind, Bling starts the double forges.
Krass has scouted the 3rd base, which is absolutely gigantic, because now he will not overcommit to this defense. He won't throw down 5-6 bunkers to make sure he doesn't die to this. He's just throwing up 1 bunker at the low ground, and he knows, I don't need anything else, because he's only got 3 gateways of production. Double forge coming down, as you pointed out, is going to allow Bling to catch up in the upgrade area. And now Krass adding on his factory, a little bit later than he'd like, but I think he can be perfectly happy knowing that this is not going to be an all-in. And he's actually pushing across the map to try to punish this 3rd. And
this is a really brilliant play. The only trouble with this push is that there isn't any medevacs with it, so stims would have to be used very conservatively. Also attacking up a ramp, that rock tower getting precariously low on health. Don't want to get that taken out too early. Great force fields coming down there for Bling. Cuts the army in half. A 3rd one being used just to get a couple of Marines and Photon Overcharge triggered. A lot of energy for a few units, but guarantees Bling's safety.
And down go the rocks too, so Krass will not be able to make this happen. Medevacs are still a long way away from done. He is going to start shelling away at the rocks, but it's going to take quite a while for those to actually go down. Meanwhile, additional 3 gateways are finishing up, so that's going to be even more warp and power for Bling, and he should take no damage from this.
In addition, the Mothership Core also has Photon Overcharge still available. Since it was maxed out on energy, it's got 126 now. So therefore, no panic by forcing the early overcharge, and probably why Bling used it, just to be safe rather than sorry. Double upgrades for Bling, getting chrono boosted consistently too, mean that he's catching up and even looking to overtake Krass in the upgrades, since Krass is very slow on getting +1 infantry armor.
Krass looking to flank from the left side here with this army, may try to get some damage done. Moving forward to the Marines, may try to just go after a couple of probes here. One does go down straight away. The stim did happen, taking off the health of some of those Marines just a little bit lower there. Second NG Bay plus an armory coming in for Krass, so he is going to be getting those double upgrades as well. But as you said, Bling has now taken the lead. Krass does have a third base established now, so he is also on even bases. But Bling is looking in a pretty solid spot.
Bling with 2-2, now getting started. Charge just about to complete as well. Upgrading efficiently. For the moment, I was just going to say, for the moment doesn't have any splash damage, but starts his Templar Archives immediately as I say that. Going to be going up into Storm. Game number 1 he did the same thing, although didn't end up utilizing High Templars at any point in that game. This game though, I have no doubt that we'll see Krass scout a lot more. He's already scouting the natural base with that Marine, just to keep a good peek on what Bling is up to.
And he should know exactly what's going on now. He did see that Templar Archives, and well, that's going to be really, really nice for Bling. Looks like he is going to be going for that Zealot Archon Storm composition. Double drop from Krass coming into the main here, and the units are totally out of position. This is actually a bit bad. The Photon Overcharge goes down, but with 2 medevacs here, this could be a little bit tough here. The Pylon goes down, unpowering the Twilight Council, while the Ship Core also taking a lot of damage. Time Warp goes down very, very well, but the Photon Overcharge should be able to ward this off quite well.
Meanwhile, the Scouting Factory is going to take some damage. No split or multi-prong push by Krass, attempting to go into the third base. This number of High Templar just going to become Archons. That's because Storm is not yet researched, and Bling just wants a bit of extra tanky capability. The drops try to go back through yet again, but yeah, enough for Bling to defend that quite comfortably. Work count 65 to 60, and we're just approaching the 13-minute mark.
Very, very true. So Bling up in supply, which is a little bit something you don't see all too much in this matchup for the Protoss player. The Terran player usually going to be a little bit up in supply because they just have the capability to produce a little bit faster in the earlier mid-game. The Stalkers blinking down at the low ground actually will kill off a medevac, miss the other medevac, but a bunch of the Stalkers go down, so overall, a little bit of an even trade as they get all the units inside as well. Maybe a little bit favoring Bling there. And another drop coming on in towards the natural will be, well, one drop actually being dropped at that pylon, the other one coming into the natural here. That'll be picked off with the Stalkers, the cannon there. And another relatively inefficient trade here for Krass. Bling getting further and further ahead, now pushing across the map with this pretty big army, but there is no Storm in there, so Storm would make this incredibly scary, but it's very, very scary as is. The upgrades are 2-2 to 1-1. The Archons are there for a bit of splash. Good force fields could go down with the energy on these sentries, and Krass, he's
brilliant move there.
A little bit thin.
Bling just taking a couple of Zealots to go and harass the mineral line at that third. Exactly what he needs to be doing, because Krass pulled straight back to his natural. He's going to lose quite a lot, and this is looking near a repeat of that first game when we saw so much damage done to the third with a little bit of harassment by Bling. But in he now goes. The force fields are okay. Gonna blink forward, gets one medevac, may get the second two. Nice pickups there.
Krass is significantly down in supply. No drops on the other side of the max, so there's no chance of counter-aggression. Good force fields going down once again will allow Bling to pick off even more workers or units here. Krass barely over 100 supply, while Bling is closing in on 170. Krass streaming out in single file here. That's not the kind of position you want your units to be on here. The Archons will get some good splash damage done on the front. The charge lots will be able to close the distance quite easily here. 3-3 is well on the way. Double robo as well, so Bling, he's not all in with this by any means. He's grabbing a fourth base. He's tech switching behind this, and Krass, he can't be thinking about all that stuff right now. He's just busy trying not to die.
And that's where the pressure comes. With the fourth coming out and the double Colossus production, things are getting scary super fast. That's the splash damage. And once those Colossi are out and extended thermal lance is done, if the game even goes on that long, that's when Bling can start really plowing into the natural base. But 4 bases up against 2, Bling monumentally ahead. Krass though showing some nice control, poking in, pulling back, attempting to take out a couple of units where he can.
And Bling still with an absolutely gigantic lead in the army supply, still 30 army supply ahead, while also being about 25 worker supply up. A total of 50 or 60 army supply, or total supply up right now. And here, Krass is trying to get as good an engagement as possible, but the first 2 Colossi have joined in, and GG is called. Bling takes the series to a 2-0 standing for him.
Immediately, we were going to do cool intros, but in the top right, Krass lifted his command center and is on his way to the gold.
No, you missed a perfect opportunity to intro that with Bling first, and then intro Krass as the guy spawning at the gold base, Maddles. I'm so disappointed in you.
I am disappointed in myself now, but I was just like, what? This is actually a cool trick. Also, getting all the SCVs mining ASAP, just so you get all that gold. Land. Good. Okay, Krass has executed this build perfectly so far. Up in the top left, though, Bling, as the red Protoss player. Okay, things I wasn't expecting after 4 hours of casting was Krass just picking up that command center and going
Yeah.
for the gold.
Things I wasn't expecting after Bling being up 2-0 is Krass going full risk. This is awesome. I am so happy right now. What is he going to do here? He could do any number of things. This is the first time I have cast somebody doing this. So everything that I'm going to be predicting here is purely hypothetical, pure theory crafting. He could go for a proxy 3 racks. He'll have more money. That is a potential possibility. He could go for, I don't know, lots of things. I'm not even going to try, Maddles. I'm not even going to try.
Do you know what I really
just
wish
wanna watch.
happened more than anything
I just want to
right
sit
now?
back and watch.
There could actually be a genuine reason, but Krass has done that.
Oh, of course. I assume there is. There must be.
Do you know what I
Because
reckon the reason
this
was?
is WCS.
I reckon Bling, or Krass,
Racks.
suspected Bling was going to racks.
Krass is raxing at home, or kind of at his new home. What?
I still reckon Krass thought Bling was going to go for a proxy 2 gate, and so he moved over
Maybe.
here, and then he's safe. Because imagine if Bling was here with 2 gateways in construction, or like around here.
Oh,
one
he's
did the
scouting
Zealot.
for it. You're right. He's actually scouting around for proxies.
That would
You're
have been
totally
hilarious.
right, Maddles. Or he's just going for hidden base.
One or the other. I like to think I was totally right. I'd like it to happen at least once in a major broadcast.
We'll go with that. We'll
Okay,
go with
sweet.
Maddles was totally right. Even though he didn't check all the proxy locations, you were totally right, Maddles. Krass has a lot of money. What's he going to spend this on?
A command center. Go on, command center. Krass, do it.
He's
He can-
hiding a base!
Ah, Krass has
Do
become a
it.
hero.
Krass!
Do it,
This
build
is
it.
so awesome. This is great, though, because Bling hasn't been probe scouting at all.
Bling's just saying it. It's just like, I wonder what my opponent's doing. Of course I know where he is. He's up in the top right. There's only 2 spawn positions.
Bling, where are you going?
He's just rallying around this way in
Okay,
case of
okay.
proxies. So yeah, this is pretty cool.
Oh my god, this is genius. So Bling, though, scouting out earlier than he has in the rest of the series, but he didn't scout at all, really, in the other games. So Krass's decision actually makes a lot of sense, because he saw that Bling wasn't coming to scout him, and as a result, Bling is, even though he's scouting this time, he's coming over at the 4-minute 20 mark. He's scouting this.
No
He's not
expansion.
natural.
Lol,
He's
what?
not going to see no main until 4:30. Now he sees it, and now he knows. But it's too late to do anything about this, because his Nexus is already mostly done.
Bling is now clicking straight to that gold base. I switched to his vision for a second. He knows exactly what's up, but he hasn't seen it yet.
He knows it's there.
Bling's
There is no
response
other explanation.
is probably going to be a Colossus. And the reason for that is because the downside to this gold base is if you've got an observer here, you put a Colossus here, even without extended thermal lance, you kill this mineral line from complete safety. There comes over the mothership core, going to start working through it. Needs to be careful not to die though.
Whoa, taking a lot of damage there. Forced to drop a time warp, which is not the greatest. It's not even over the minerals, so it's not even going to hinder the income at all. So, not at the ideal time warp for Bling. Krass could be pretty happy with the way this game has started for him. He's got his second base established at the 6 o'clock, or the 7 o'clock rather, morphing that into an orbital. And now, Bling is adding on a couple more gateways. He's just playing this perfectly standard right now, because Krass, I mean, he's got this economy going, but full saturation on this base is still almost the exact same income as any other base. It's just that you need less workers for it, so you hit that full saturation earlier.
And the downside of this bottom left base as well is that while he has hit that worker saturation sooner, he can't actually transfer any SCVs down to the 7 o'clock base. That's going to hurt the saturation a lot more. Very frustrating for Cass in that way. But meanwhile, Bling, he's just happily chilling exactly the way he wants. There we go, Robotics Bay coming down just as expected, going for a Colossus because you can melt this mineral line.
Well, we'll see just how much damage that can do, because Starport's on the way. I'm sure Krass is aware that he can take damage from that Colossus. He's already got a reactor on the way, which is pretty standard when you have the Starport on the way up. The question is he going to go for Medivacs, or is he going to go straight for Vikings to try to preempt that Colossus from dealing all that much damage? Bling has no idea about this hidden base. None whatsoever. Krass is just dropping the mules at the blue minerals. For those of you who don't know, about 2 years ago, there was a nerf on the mules which said that mules return the same amount of minerals from a gold base than from a blue base.
Thank goodness.
Which is why he's muling from this other base, because it just makes a lot more sense.
Do you remember those days when
Yes.
they were scary times?
Gold base on Antigua Shipyard, drop the mule hammer.
That was painful. Anyway, we do have the first Colossus coming out, extended thermal lance also on its way through. Bling shouldn't be feeling too worried. He is up in the worker count. 42 to 31. How that actually affects the income is Krass is still slightly ahead, but not by much. It's an early game boost, and I just can't help but feel Krass maybe didn't capitalize on it.
Well, Krass is going to be going for a double medevac drop here, and there's not really all that much to deal with this in the main. The Colossus is at the natural, and, well, here we go, dropping in the main. The sentries are a little bit exposed, but no stim, so we won't be able to close the distance all too easily. 2 more gateways coming on up here. How much will this do? The Colossus is going to be helpful. Stim is now done, but he does pick up and leave, so the Colossus, a big enough threat to force those out. There's no Marauders, only Marines. They don't tank the Colossus shots all too well. Krass is running out of space to build stuff. He's building stuff now kind of in the open area that's not really part of that base anymore. And, well, he's dropping again, back in the main, trying to do some damage to this pylon. Will pick up and leave. He just really doesn't want to lose anything right now. 3 more gateways on the way for
He
Bling.
can't afford to lose anything. The supplies are exactly the same. It's worth noting as well that this is brilliant base planning coming down from Krass with so little space. It's one of the downsides of doing this kind of build, that you just have nowhere to build things. Meanwhile, third Colossus on its way down, and I really think this is the smartest move that Bling could be making, is getting a decent number of Colossi, because there isn't...
Ooh. Marines in the main, they are going to be able to pick up a lot of the Stalkers. Looks like the medevacs will go down, but the Stalkers are also going down, so not a terrible trade here for Krass, who gets the Mothership Core too. And another Stalker, and maybe even one last one before losing all of these units. Nope, they go down, but overall, I would say that was a good trade
Push
for Krass.
up into the natural base as well. Now a handful of Marines, plus that medevac. Gonna try picking away at some of the probes. Gets a couple. In total, 6 workers killed by Krass so far. That takes the worker count 39 to 47 in Krass's favor. And by goodness, he's transferring SCVs down to the bottom left-hand base.
He has to. He's almost mined out of his gold.
But why hasn't he taken one of these bases? Why hasn't he taken what should have been his main?
I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't feel like it. He didn't like the main. That's why he relocated in the first place.
It's not got good feng shui or something like that. Just doesn't like the way it's laid out.
Well, we have 1 Viking out, 2 more in production, 3 Colossi with almost nothing to just sort of support them, but it should actually be no problem because, well, the Colossi are just going to shell away and do a lot of damage, but the Viking is pushing them back. Meanwhile, the supplies are slightly in Krass's favor, and honestly, him lifting up to that base so soon, he could just transfer those SCVs and make another CC somewhere, and then all of a sudden he doesn't have to worry about that cliff with those Colossi anymore.
The thing which gets me is the Bling hasn't tried to find a hidden base as of yet. I think he's overestimating how much money this gold gives you, because he knows he went in and checked, no main, no natural, but he's never gone to check these other expansions at any point or gone back through to check it. That's going to be a little bit frustrating, because he's probably going to be kicking himself that that's down, but a drop coming down into the main base. Lots of Stalkers are there though.
Yeah, but that's actually not so great as they are going to go down. That's a pretty hefty gas loss there. At the very least, Krass is going to trade evenly as he begins to kite these Zealots, go for some of the pylons there, also picking up some of the probes in the probe line here. Some of them are going down. He's already got a good number of kills on his account here, already up to 13 worker kills throughout the game, and forcing those Zealots through a choke here. Meanwhile, though, Bling going with a big push here at the gold. It's kind of hard for Krass to get a good engagement here.
Krass is going to...
Good micro on the Vikings.
Yeah, microing the Vikings is really all he can do. There's not too many Stalkers here, so 1 Colossus will get taken out. That's obviously a nice little win for him. But what he's going to be trying to do is actually end this army nice and quick. A couple of SCVs now getting killed. 8 workers killed compared to 13 that Krass has managed to take out. The drop in the main has been dealt with. But actually Krass up in supply. His supply count better in both army and workers, which is a bit more unusual. And Bling still has absolutely no knowledge that there is this base at the 7 o'clock position.
Yeah, Krass maybe overextending a little bit with the Vikings. Doesn't lose any though. Blink is about 3/4 of the way done. Then it's going to be a lot harder to pressure with these Vikings. And actually Krass looking to get a little bit aggressive here, trying to do some damage. He doesn't want to attack up that choke against those Colossi though. They still have their shields. With Guardian Shield, it's going to take a long time for those Vikings to shell away at them. Meanwhile, the base at the original natural of Krass has completed. He'll probably transfer all of the SCVs over there. Yep, they are already on the way. As the gold base is now down to a total of 191 minerals at it.
That gold base has served Krass well. That is the most I've ever seen that gold base get. Welcome back, everyone. This is WCS EU Challenger. We've restored the game from replay. Sorry for the delay. Krass, unfortunately, had some computer issues. So, as it stands, this game is pretty close. The supply's fairly even. Krass has expanded to his natural. Bling, though, sitting comfortably on 2 bases with a decent number of Colossi. Penguin, what are your thoughts so far?
Interestingly enough, despite how far we are into the game, only one upgrade has been researched as far as like unit upgrades, basic unit upgrades. +1 armor for Bling, which gives him an upgrade advantage. Soon to be 1-1 to 0-0. So he's looking pretty strong, and the supplies, while they are in Krass's favor, only a little bit so. And Bling, he's got 3 Colossi. There are some Vikings out. The Vikings have done very, very well so far. But if Bling controls properly, he should be in a good position to take this. There are very few medevacs on the field as well, so healing is incredibly limited for our Terran player.
Krass still sitting here, trying to battle his way through. Remember, this bottom left-hand base, the 7 o'clock base, isn't known to Bling. Okay, nor does Bling yet know that the natural base of Krass has been taken. Instead, Bling just poking and prodding with his Stalkers. Trying to kill a couple of units, blink away so he doesn't take any damage. If you do blink while a projectile's in motion, it doesn't actually deal any damage, so it can be a nice way to trade. Unfortunately, Bling is losing a couple of units there. He's being backed away simply because Krass being so aggressive at the moment, but Bling, with the gold coming down, looks like he's picking up some tricks.
Yeah, and this is going to be really nice for him if he can actually secure it, but Krass's army's right there. He could drop on the high ground and try to harass that once the probes move on over, which is going to be a little bit tough for Bling to deal with. Krass, though, he still is very far behind on the upgrades. He's only now finishing up +1 attack. +1 armor going to be started behind this, but he's going to have to engage sooner or later, and the sooner the better in a way, because he's falling further and further behind in the upgrades. And while his army composition isn't the most amazing to deal with what his opponent has, it's better than it will be when more Colossi are out, when Templar are out.
Like the fact that Krass is coming from the south of this block just to try and sneak in there. Bling moving some Stalkers down perilously close to this bottom left-hand base. Not going down there quite yet. Is he going to get it revealed by these SCVs?
Oh, he doesn't see the SCVs. So close.
That was lucky for Krass. If he'd seen that, that base would have been gone. But yeah, the Colossi just starting to shell away, trying to get a little bit of damage. Lasers, good units and all. Unfortunately though, this Viking count getting mighty high. 9 Vikings up against 4 Colossi. The Stalkers have got to prioritize them.
A couple of Stalkers going down. Here comes the engagement. Not the greatest engagement force for the bio, but one of the Colossi has gone down. The hallucination that was there to tank a couple of shots has also gone down. 3 Colossi remain. That's a lot of DPS. One of them is already out of shields. Continuing to shell away are the Vikings. Looks like this one is going to go down, but the Vikings are not focusing the almost dead one. A little bit of miscontrol by Krass, but the bio on the low ground is just being able to take off so much of this army, and Krass pushing forward despite the high DPS of these Colossi that are surviving. Tries to push forward, still being able to take out a lot of the gateway force, but the Colossi are just a little bit too strong.
Those Colossi staying up, magnificently important. 1 very low health, a 3rd does now die, but the medevac's getting killed. Krass didn't need to leave those there. And unfortunately for Krass, he GG's out. That means the Bling takes the